Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, there's some huge stuff going on. As you guys know, the big event at Loot Lake just happened, so that is what this video is mainly going to be about. We're going to be going over an overview of the event and explaining a bunch of stuff with it. Also going over a bunch of the humongous changes that have happened in-game because of this event, including a possible Season 9 skin revealed during the event. On top of that, maybe at the end, we'll go over a little bit of update news as well, but overall, this video is going to be a ton of fun, super informative. So if you do find this video helpful, as always, you can support me by using code TheLlamaSir. I appreciate it a ton, and big thanks to all of you who have been doing so. And also guys, hit that subscribe button down below because Season 9 is just around the corner, and you know I'll be covering some news about that very soon. Also hit that like button down below if you were there for this event or you're just hyped for this event that has happened. It is absolutely crazy and has been so much fun, so be sure to hit that like button down below. But yeah guys, without further ado, let's jump on into it with the first thing I want to talk about with this, and that is basically an overview of the event itself in case you weren't home to see it or be there, but also going into it in detail, and then this will help us, you know, maybe explain a couple of things and go over a bunch of stuff with it. So if you were there for the event, you can skip ahead in the video a little bit, but I would recommend watching through this because it's a good reminder of what happened, and it'll help us when we like try to explain some things and like some of the changes that are going on. So starting it out here, when this event, like before it went live at around 3 p.m. Eastern time, there was a new game mode called the unvaulting or something along those lines, and basically this was like an event game mode very similar to how like the marshmallow event had a specific mode for it. It looted up pretty normal and the timer was counting down in the center. Now when the timer got to 1 minute, that's when it triggered, you know, everything to start happening. Basically everybody's, you know, weapons got taken away. They couldn't deal damage. They could only run around, pickaxe. I don't even think the pickaxe could do damage or anything like that. And also like your hood or your heads up display changed up a little bit. A few things got removed, and then you waited in the center for, you know, like a bunch of crazy stuff to happen. Now basically when that timer went from 1 minute to 0, that's when the thing in the center of the map, the vault as we're starting to call it, began to open up. It did this little animation of like the things going down, and like, you know, I mean, I don't really need to explain that, but when that opened up, you were then able to go inside of the vault. Now once inside of there, it teleported you to a different like dimension or something like that, and this is where there are some secret things that you need to know about, but we'll circle around back to that. I just want to finish up this overview before I go into like some of those more secretive things. But basically once you were in here, there were 6 things, you know, that we knew were going to be happening. We knew that, you know, you were pretty much going to have to sort of vote for what you wanted to come back or get unvaulted, hence the name of the game. But yeah, the world was very crazy. There was this big sphere with like glowing stuff around it, and then you had the 6 options: the drum gun, the grappler, the bouncer, the sword, the tac SMG, and also the planes. Now as you can see in my game, I didn't really vote for anything. I tested it out a little bit with the bouncers. As you can see, it was actually, I think, based on damage, so I would assume it took the damage from like everybody's lobbies and put it together until eventually one of these things broke, and that was the, you know, item that got put back. So again, I just wanted to record this for you and get a good overview, but like as you can see here, here's a bunch of the crazy stuff happening, and you could tell like which one was getting more damage because it started to break more and more, as you can see right here with the drum gun. Now as you can probably guess from this, the drum gun was the item that got picked, and I mean, just playing out the animation right here, you know, it broke, the drum gun like rose out of it, the other options like went into the ground or disappeared, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically yeah, as you can see right here, it floated out and then I think shot up into the sky, and then after that, that's not even the end of the crazy stuff, we all got teleported back into the regular map, flew up into the air, and that's where the world started to get a little bit darker and the volcano erupted. That is right guys, the volcano erupted and destroyed a bunch of locations. As you can see, I won't show all of them right here because I do want to go into the specifics of the locations that changed, but as you can see, like the first one to get hit was Retail Row, so we'll circle around back to that a little bit. But basically a bunch of locations got hit by, you know, flying volcano rocks or whatever you want to call it, and that was pretty much the end of the event as of right now. So very crazy overall guys, but let's go ahead and jump into it with some of the changes I want to go over with you guys. And again, some of these are like super secret, some are a little bit more obvious, but overall I just want to cover like everything about this event. So jumping into it with the first one, let's start off with like a super interesting secret that could have to do with Season 9. That is right guys, could have to do with the theme of Season 9 and could even be a first look at a possible skin coming in Season 9. So yeah guys, basically in order to see this little secret, it was inside of that, you know, other dimension type world that you got teleported to and you voted for the different stuff. However, it was specifically at this desk, which was very, very out of place. As you can see, it's like a desk with a chair, some books, a boombox, which is also very weird, but then on the center of it is a face mask, which, as you can see, guys, does not look like any face mask that we have in game, and I find that very, very interesting because, as you guys know, Epic Games loves to hide clues for the new seasons and stuff in the game, and I mean, all of this stuff is obviously, you know, part of the story and things like that, so I don't think they would have somebody fully model this helmet unless it had something to do with Season 9, and I also think that that could be likely that this could be the helmet of one of the skins coming in Season 9. Again, we don't know for sure, but that just seems very likely because of how well it's modeled and how it's just very, very out of place. It's almost like they want us to take notice of this helmet, so I think it could be a teaser for one of the skins coming in either the Battle Pass or sometime in Season 9 or something like that overall. But I mean, wouldn't that just make sense, guys? I mean, I think it would. So yeah. But after that, guys, keeping it going here with the changes because I do want to go over every single change from today's event, and basically this one is an obvious one, but I wanted to confirm it in case you were wondering. But the drum gun is already in game from what I can see. According to a bunch of you on Twitter, I wasn't able to find one, but I didn't spend that much time looking around in game, and obviously, you know, loot is random, but a bunch of you said you were able to find it in online games. Oh, and also in case you were wondering, my Twitter account is TheLlamaSir if you want to follow me and discuss event type stuff over there. But on top of that, also, the Fortnite Twitter account put up a tweet officially saying, "You all chose as one and made your pick. The drum gun has been unvaulted." And then, as you can see, there is a picture of the drum gun. Very, very interesting right there. So yeah, it should be in game as far as I can tell, so definitely pretty interesting. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys voted for. Did you vote for this or did you vote for something else? Whatever it is, leave a comment down below. But let's move on to some other changes here. Like, this one is actually a change to the map, but basically it is that Retail Row is you know, really destroyed. But as you can see, it's mainly like the store section that's destroyed or got hit by the rock from the volcano. But with that being said, you know, the Num's grocery store has been pretty much obliterated. Also, the brand new Durr Burger and Pizza Pit places have been, yeah, they've been pretty knocked down. So pretty much like every building over on this side of Retail Row has been, you know, destroyed, or for the most part like half destroyed. Also, there's a big lava pit in the center. There's not a whole ton of loot in this area anymore, but you know, yeah, this is definitely a big change to be aware of. But then after that, for an interesting change that was a little bit more hidden, but I still wanted to show you guys because I think it could have some big meaning for Season 9, that is a change to Polar Peak. But as of right now, it's not a huge change, but basically when the volcano started to fire the rocks and stuff around the map, one of the rocks, I think it was either the first or the second one, hit Polar Peak. However, if you go over there right now, it's not destroyed, but there is still some pretty big damage to the iceberg. Now, I do not think this is just random. I don't think they would put in the work to have it hit Polar Peak unless something was going to change for like Season 9, because again, Retail Row changed a bunch, but this didn't really. So I think maybe we'll see what happens with this at the start of Season 9 or something like that. I think it could be leading up to it. And with that being said, I'm still holding out hope that we get like some underwater type thing going on. I've talked about this theory a bunch, and I still think it's likely, especially since we have I almost forget the name of it, Greasy Grove. It's been so long since we had Greasy Grove. Obviously, it's under the frozen lake, but I think they could maybe be bringing it back. Maybe that's why they ended up hitting Polar Peak. Maybe they're finally going to get around to, you know, a bunch of it melting and creating some underwater area, or maybe just, you know, revealing Greasy Grove again and bringing it back. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Maybe talk about it a little bit more in a separate video. But let's keep it going here with the next thing I want to cover, and that is about the changes to Tilted Towers. Obviously, you probably know that Tilted Towers changed. However, there is something really funny I want to bring up that you may not have noticed. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But again, we're covering all the changes here. But basically, as you can see, Tilted Towers has been absolutely decimated. It got hit by the most of the volcano rocks, like 4 or 5 or something like that. And basically, there's really not a lot of buildings left standing. They're pretty much in ruin. There's a bunch of lava everywhere, a bunch of rubble. The clock tower has gotten knocked down. I mean, those apartments over there, the L's, all of that stuff has gotten knocked down for the most part, except there is one building that was left standing, and this is hilarious. It is the No Sweat Insurance building, or in other words, the building that throughout a bunch of previous seasons has been the one building that has gotten destroyed, and it's been sort of a joke that like almost every season it gets destroyed by some random thing, yet all the other buildings around it are completely fine. So it's pretty funny that this time around they reversed it and left it as the only building standing. I thought that was pretty funny, wanted to bring that up here. But yeah, Tilted Towers like this, it's definitely pretty crazy. And then after that, guys, for the final change I wanted to talk about. This is just a small one, and then real quick after this, I have one other update thing I wanted to get out to you guys as quick as possible. But basically, this thing right here is simply that they changed the like atmosphere of the map. During the daytime, the sky's a lot more gray, and then at night or sunset a little bit, it's more of an orange, I think. But I find that very, very interesting because will that go away in Season 9? Is that meaning something? As of right now, I haven't had a ton of time to think about it, or if it does mean something specifically, or if it's just, you know, aftermath of the volcano erupting. So something to keep in mind. I still wanted to bring it up here so that you guys are aware of it, and maybe we can think up of a reason as to why this may be happening. So yeah, but yeah, guys, moving on here to something else that is a little bit update news related. Basically, this has to do a little bit with Season 9 and the overtime challenges. Obviously, you guys probably know that the overtime challenges are out, and I decided not to do a guide for them because the challenges are pretty straightforward, besides the coin one, but that's also, you know, tough to make a guide for because I believe the maps switch out quite a bit. But yeah, the challenges themselves are pretty straightforward, but there's something I wanted to go over with them that I find pretty interesting because it does have to do technically with Season 9, and that is basically that we pretty much have confirmation that Season 9 is not delayed. If you take a look in-game at the overtime challenges, you will see that the timer ends in like a few days from when I'm uploading this video, which basically is in line with around when Season 9 ends. If you want to know like the estimated date of Season 9, you know, arriving and Season 8 ending, be sure to check out one of my previous videos. It was on the Season 9 Battle Pass and info about that. I talk about all of that stuff, and if you've seen that video, you already know what I'm talking about here, but I'll leave a link to that video down below in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, guys, a lot of people are wondering if, you know, the overtime challenges would mean that, you know, Season 9 is delayed, but it appears to be that that is not the case. So something I wanted to bring up, definitely like the skins and stuff in the overtime challenges are super cool. Gotta make sure to get all of those. But yeah, guys, I'm hyped for Season 9. I cannot believe that it is just around the corner. It is coming up super duper close, and I'm excited to cover like the weekly challenges again for, you know, the start of a new season. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely cannot wait for that. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as check out some of my previous videos up on the screen now, such as on the left, my week 10 challenges guide, and then on the right, some like update news and stuff like that. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.